for 2.
Abhishek asks us how we have been. I've no doubt he's been slaving at the altar of capitalism all day and kept away from it.
We've been all right, Abhishek. How have you been?
Things that you expect to hear on Guerrilla Cricket. Oh, hold on.
As Bumrah's in, penultimate ball of the over is a short ball, which is angled across Imad Wasim. He plays this quite pleasantly out into the offside. No one's really putting in any great effort to field it. And Vijay Shankar, who's had quite the day, fields, took a wicket with his very first ball of his World Cup career. In fact, when he replaced Bhuvneshwar Kumar partway through and over, and took a catch.
Took a catch at deep mid wicket as well.
Christ the Choir gives us things you expect to hear on Guerrilla Cricket number 180, which is a repeat of 1747 and 113. Oh, I can't be bothered with the wide sings jingle instead.
Well, the crowd, of course, has thinned out.
Well, certainly the green bit of it. This is full outside off stump and driven very nicely by Shadab Khan. He's absolutely hammered that past mid-off, straight of mid-off for 4.
Now, was that a 4? That was a 4, not a 6, was it?
4.
We're absolutely sure. All right, just checking. One of these. 6. Oh, sorry.
5. It fair rocketed along the turf. Pakistan 182 for 6, and with 3 overs left of this rain-reduced game, they need a frankly ridiculous 120.
So unfortunately, that wasn't a 10 off that ball.
120 off 3 overs, yes?
40 runs and over.
40 and over. That's going to be tough.
The Indian fans don't seem too bothered, and why would you be at this stage? Yeah, you can see that actually no one really in blue has moved that much unless they've gone to the pub or to a local restaurant, but the Pakistan fans apparently were leaving some time ago. I'm not normally an advocate of leaving early when your team's losing, but I can sort of understand it in these circumstances. Chahal is going to continue. Your ball's a googly, which starts too wide of off stump and turns wider of off stump.
Yeah, he's doing his best. He's went to Chahal. That's his second wide.
Chahal bowls the first legitimate ball of the 37th over, which is a googly, which is spanked by Imad Wasim, and Kuldeep Yadav doesn't bother chasing it at mid-off and goes for 4.
2, 3, 4.
This is actually quite smart cricket by Pakistan, in my view.
Well, I mean, it's
in the circumstances.
It's give it a whack, have some fun, freedom, and a little bit of range hitting practice for Imad Wasim and Shadab Khan, and why not?
And Mayank says what started out as a great match and a fantastic Indian innings became quite boring after the innings break.
This is tossed up, and Chahal slightly beat Imad in the flight, but Imad got enough on that attempted slog down the ground to get a single, or 2 in fact, down to Ravindra Jadeja at long on. Yeah, look, it was an anticlimactic end to an amazing occasion always, but India had the game won long before the rain break. Certainly those 2 wickets in 3 balls from Kuldeep Yadav, and then the 2 and 2 from Hardik Pandya, Pakistan losing 4 for 12 in 3 overs, kind of broke the game as Chahal is in, tosses this up and nicely bowled, dips on Imad Wasim, and he slogs this into the leg side, and it dribbles to the one man saving one on the leg side. They come through for a single.
And he says it's a fittingly idiotic end after the 3rd rain delay. At least India won, and anybody who was on the Guerrilla Cricket Bet of the Day will win as well.
Yes, indeedy.
They will. Yes, another one. We're on a hat-trick, aren't we?
This is tossed up.
That's gone high.
It's dipped on Shadab. He slogs into the leg side, and it's dropped by KL Rahul. So he'll be fined, and his runs contributed, runs saved, runs leaked stats will take a pounding. He drops the catch, and Shadab Khan comes through for 2.
The pimps in the crib, ma. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
A very simple catch, but to be it's fair to say no one's mind is really on the game. This has gone up as well. Shadab Khan putting a lot of bottom hand into that and chipping it up over the infield out to Vijay Shankar on the boundary, and they come through for another 2. Chahal's figures somewhat being ruined in this over. There's gone for 6, 10, 11, 12 already. But Virat Kohli can barely stifle a giggle. As this is fired in by Chahal, and a lovely delivery actually. It turned sharply across Shadab Khan, but he plays it quite well, sort of doing that forward press and then onto the back foot thing, and then pushing it wide of, or straight rather, of mid-wicket. The throw comes in from Kuldeep. They do come through for 2, so that is 13 runs off the 38th over of this rain-reduced innings, and Pakistan 196 for 6, chasing an entirely notional 302.
I am particularly happy that, notwithstanding the, some might say, insanity of the situation, so many of our much-loved tweeters are still with us, including Leah and Kunal Talani and Mayank and Mike Hodgkiss.
Well, what that might do in a minute is we'll give you the bet of the day for tomorrow.
Yes, indeed, and England-Afghanistan, which I think has also been sent through. Kuldeep Yadav is signing a fan's replica cricket ball in the crowd, which is all well and good. Didn't he bowl beautifully today? Delicious delivery to dismiss Babar Azam, and a nice bit of flight and deception to get rid of Fakhar Zaman. Jasprit Bumrah bowling the penultimate over of this game. His right arm over the wickets to Imad Wasim, yet to take a wicket today. It's full and driven hard by Imad Wasim. Murray Erasmus, if one man can indeed scatter, he scattered. Straight, hard, full. In fact, apologies, it was Bruce Oxenford at this end who got hastily out of the way of that absolutely thumped shot by Imad Wasim.
Well, he just steps casually.
Bumrah in a short ball, a good fast short ball, which Imad tries to uppercut. He looks to the square leg umpire Marais Erasmus, but Marais Erasmus does not signal the wide, and there is no run.
This whole extra part will be worth it if only Oxenford got to use his oxen shield.
Yeah, have we actually seen it tested in anger yet?
Not yet. He's always been able to step smartly out of the way hitherto. Bumrah in back of a length. Imad goes up and over the infield and squirts it away into the offside. Vijay Shankar does the fielding, and they come through for 1.
Abhishek somewhat depressingly asked the question, which I think it is way too soon to answer: where does this World Cup rate in the list of the worst World Cups? Surely second place after West Indies 2007.
I think it's been a pretty decent World Cup.
The quality of cricket when we've had it has been fantastic. If you took the rain out of the equation and concentrated just on the matches we've seen, I don't think you'd feel shortchanged.
And we're not yet halfway through the group stage.
This is short and outside off stump and cut away hard by Shadab Khan out to KL Rahul on the point boundary. They come through for a single.
So this is match 22. There are 45 matches in the group stages and then the 3 finals. So we've got a long way to go yet.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, Tony, there's been some really good cricket, even in games where the final scoreline was pretty one-sided.
Well,
it's been pretty good. As
give you
Bumrah in short ball, and Dhoni almost drops it onto the helmet, so we almost got the 5 penalty runs, which would have been a little
they seem to be doing their best.
Fun statistical quirk. But he drops it past the helmet, and there is no run.
Flicked it over the helmet, actually, didn't he, almost?
One thinks that for some reason the Indian concentration might have declined a little.
Yeah,
well, he was just got away with one there, didn't he?
Short ball again from Bumrah. That's nicely played by Imad Wasim, backing away, flicking it up over where the slips would have been, and it's going to be a no ball and a free hit.
Good lord.
As well as the 4.
Well, it's one of these.
Kids can't listen and you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
So Bumrah's figure's taking a pounding in this slightly weird end to the game. That actually wasn't a no ball.
And it's going to be one of these.
His foot landed behind the line, so the weirdness gets weirder and weirder. This is a full toss for the free hit, which is driven hard by Imad Wasim straight up to Kedar Jadhav at mid-off. He throws at the stumps, misses. They come through for a single. Bumrah, none for 52 off his 8 overs is what he'll finish with. But that doesn't tell the story. He bowled really, really well in his opening spell and really did trouble both Fakhar Zaman and Imam ul-Haq. Pakistan, after 39 overs, are 208.
So what do they need off this last over?
They need 94.
94 off the last over.
That's a breeze.
If you fancy placing a bet on that, no, I'm joking.
It's less than 22 a ball, anyhow. James in Twickenham is establishing his true gorillaness by saying he's still listening and drinking. I just can't think of anything to tweet.
Splendid.
Cricket. And James, of course, will be in here on Thursday.
Yes, he'll be
he's our guest, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be our next
Fantastic.
listener to be experienced, as wonderfully donated, the cost of it donated by our friend in Canberra, Sally R56.
Sounded scarily sinister when you said he's our next listener to be experienced.
The man bowling the last over is the man who took 2 in 2 to dismiss Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik. We'll jingle them up in just a second.
Oh, who are we? Sorry.
And,
Yes.
finishing things off from the James Anderson end is the man who'll be jingled after this ball. This is a short ball which outside off stump. Imad Vaseem tries to practice his sort of A.B. de Villiers walking across to the off stump, rolling over and flicking it over his shoulder for 4 or 6. Misses it through to MS Dhoni. There is no run. This chap.
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
Hardik in 2 for 40 or 7.1 overs. A slower ball, a cutter outside off stump, which is hammered by Imad Vaseem all along the ground after KL Rahul on the deep cover boundary. They come through for a single.
Colin Rossiter says he's exhausted listening to this match. I just mowed the lawn and it's well hot. And Abhishek concedes that maybe we were right, but there haven't been any really close games, and the decision to limit it to 10 teams only has backfired badly.
Well,
I don't know if it backfired, but it was just a nonsense to begin with, and I think would have been regardless of what happened with the tournament. There's many reasons why why that format is a nonsense. 4 balls left of this game. There's only a couple of fielders up in the offside. Hardik is now practicing bowling round the wicket. A good delivery, a good slower ball Yorker, which is full outside off stump and driven by Shadab Khan, dug out to long off. They come through for a single. There's some decent average padding going on for Imad and Shadab Khan. Shadab is having a grin at it all, and why not?
Short third man asked the question which, if I think about, will probably make my brain explode. So how will the net run rate be calculated? Is it the actual runs India scored or the DLS target?
I mean, India's sort of that side of the equation will be fine, but I'm not actually quite sure how it works. I don't have the mathematical head for such things. There'll be explainers on Cricinfo about exactly how it works, but basically India will have a massive net run rate boost and Pakistan will have a massive net run rate anti-boost after this game. Crash almost. Off cutter from Hardik Pandya is the 4th ball of the last over of the innings, is back of a length and pulled away by Imad Vaseem out to long on. They come through for a single.
That was a first for guerrilla cricket. Nakul Pandey did not know.
Can't look it up quickly enough. 2 balls left of the game. Hardik Pandya in, short ball outside off stump, and Shadab Khan cuts to a backward point. The man there holds his throw and they come through for a single. Imad Vaseem on strike on 46. He could finish things and get himself an ODI 50, but this game is very much all over, including the shouting.
And James in Twickenham was asking if there's anything he should bring on Thursday or any vaccinations he should get. A mop and bucket would be handy, and a pair of rubber gloves.
Your fine self, James, your brain and your mouth and your enthusiasm is all we require. Last ball of the game, Hardik Pandya in to Imad Vaseem, up to the crease now and bowls right up over the wicket.
Lord.
And Imad Vaseem again practices that shot where he runs away outside off stump. Tries to flick it over his shoulder and over the keeper's head for no run, or rather 4-4. He doesn't manage it. There is no run, and India have won eventually by 302 minus 22 by 89 runs on Duckworth, Lewis, Stern, and they go possibly second in the table depending on the net run rate situation, but they certainly go level with New Zealand on points. Pakistan now need a real run of victories to make sure they make the semi-finals. A comprehensive win for India. They're 7th in 7 World Cup games against Pakistan.
Yes, I think in the end a comfortable win. I think Pakistan lost an early wicket, didn't they? But then they 2 and 3 settled in well, but they just weren't scoring fast enough, and they just made it hard for themselves. That said, India bowled superbly and could even afford to lose one of their gun bowlers because they lost Bhuvi Kumar to that tweaked hamstring
in just his 3rd over.
Just his 3rd over. But the man who came on to replace him, who's Vijay
Shankar.
Yeah, Vijay Shankar, took a wicket with his first ball. 3rd time apparently it's happened in World Cup history.
Oh, the 4th we found out.
4th? Well, who was the 4th one? Whose name we didn't